More than 36,000 people die each year from gunshots. There were 540 shootings in just 3 days. Why is the crime rate so high in the U.S.? Why won't they ban guns? How many guns are there in the civilian sector in the United States? You might be scared to know this. 393 million. Keep in mind, the total population of the United States is only 330 million. So on average, there is more than one gun per person. The number of people with guns is very large. Hence, there are so many shootings. According to statistics, the U.S. has at least one shooting each day. Only 2/3 of this year has passed. There have already been 500 mass shootings. More than 32,000 people have been killed due to various forms of gun violence. More than 29,000 people have been injured. Every year, the 3rd of July is a United States national holiday. However, last year, it was a bloody day for the United States. From the 3rd to the 5th of July, 2021, within just 3 days, the United States saw 540 shootings. 189 people died. 516 were injured. It feels like people have to go around checking for yellow alerts because at any moment they can be hit by gunfire. This is no exaggerated nonsense. In February, an elderly couple in the U.S. were tragically killed by their neighbor while sweeping blood at their doorstep. Yet these aren't considered news in the U.S. Americans are already used to gun violence. After all, in 2020 alone, there were more than 1,000 shootings. Only the mass shootings make the news. In May this year, there was a horrific shooting in Texas, United States, where a gangster broke into a school and shot 21 people, including 18 children. This is the deadliest shooting in Texas history, causing widespread public rage. Even when President Biden ordered the flag to be lowered at half-mast, it did not quell the public's anger. Despite the terrifying state of affairs, the U.S. still has not banned guns. What is it exactly that makes Americans so obsessed with guns? In fact, it's not that they haven't considered a gun ban. It's that they can't. In 1865, then President Lincoln was assassinated. The weapon was a large-caliber pistol. Gun control was so lax, even the president didn't have security. At this time, calls for gun control began to emerge in America, but they weren't taken seriously by the government. It wasn't until the 1920s, when Prohibition gave rise to numerous criminal organizations, that gangsters fought for control of the market, engaging in daily shootouts here and there with bullets flying everywhere, terrifying ordinary citizens. In the 1930s, Roosevelt was elected president and finally took gun control seriously, enacting 2 gun control laws. However, these laws only imposed restrictions rather than outright bans, having some effect but not addressing the root cause. Soon, the gun problem resurfaced. In the 60s and 70s, the civil rights movement arose and the Cold War began, marking America's most turbulent decade with assassinations of Kennedy and Martin Luther King and riots spreading across the nation. Gun control wasn't addressed again until Obama's term, but his efforts gained little support, not even reaching the minimum votes in Congress. It wasn't until this May school shooting that Americans remembered this issue. Nationwide demonstrations were held, demanding government action on gun control. Congress initially passed a gun control proposal, but nothing followed. To this day, gun violence persists in the land of the free. So why is gun control so difficult in America? 2 reasons: citizens and government opposition. Why do citizens oppose it? In the U.S., 36,000 die from guns yearly. Crime rates stay high, so why not ban guns? In America, without a gun, you can't ensure your own safety. Fun fact, U.S. law doesn't require police to protect citizens, only arrest criminals. If attacked in the U.S., calling police is useless. They can ignore it legally. But if you're nearly killed, they must act and arrest the attacker. U.S. police are only obligated to arrest criminals, and America is sparsely populated. Police response times can be very long, especially in poor areas. Criminals might kill everyone before police arrive. Police might be too late. In this environment, who wouldn't want a gun? A kitchen knife won't cut it. In the U.S., you must rely on yourself. Police won't rush to protect you. So, guns give Americans a great sense of security. But why doesn't the government want to ban them? Wouldn't banning guns lower crime rates? There's a lot to unpack here. The U.S. gun ban issue is now about party politics, not just guns. Democrats support gun bans. Republicans strongly oppose them. Trump said in 2018 as president, "I'll always support gun ownership." This back and forth continues with each party switching power. Can anything be accomplished this way? So why don't Republicans want to ban guns? Is it just to oppose Democrats? No. Republicans profit from gun sales. The U.S. gun industry is as old as the country itself. It's a huge part of the U.S. economy, providing $2 billion in annual tax revenue for the government. There are over 100,000 legal gun shops in the U.S., not to mention the underground gun trade. The biggest force is the NRA, National Rifle Association, the largest gun association in America with about 4 million members, including 9 U.S. presidents like Roosevelt, Kennedy, and Bush, who are all members. Trump isn't an official member, but he's a loyal supporter. NRA initially had no political ties, just a sports club, casually selling guns, until 1934, when the U.S. passed its first gun control law. NRA realized it must fight back or face extinction, so NRA began lobbying the government, spending huge sums of money. In 14 years, it gave $17 million to campaigns, mostly to Republicans. That's why Trump supported guns in 2016. NRA even influences Supreme Court nominations. They check if nominees support gun rights. If not, they're blocked. In 2009, Obama's pick, Sonia, was rejected for supporting gun control. This shows NRA's immense power. Passing gun bans in the U.S. is nearly impossible. That's how the gun industry became more powerful than the president. Why does the NRA have so much influence over U.S. elections and Supreme Court appointments? The gun industry's power in America is truly baffling. To understand this, we need to look at American history. For Americans, gun ownership is seen as a birthright. In 1492, Columbus discovered the New World, and Europeans set their sights on the Americas. The clever Europeans wanted to develop the land without doing the hard work themselves, so they turned America into a penal colony, shipping over convicts. These prisoners had to hunt to survive, defend against wild animals, and compete with Native Americans for resources. Guns became essential for survival, for food, protection, and everything else. As more Europeans arrived in America, life gradually improved. People began thinking about independence from Britain, but no one dared act on it until Washington fired the first shot of the Revolution. The Revolution succeeded for 2 reasons. France weakened Britain, and American civilians were armed. The 1791 Constitution enshrined gun ownership as an inalienable right, not a privilege. After independence, armed Americans began expanding westward, taking land from Native Americans who were defenseless without guns. Many Native Americans were massacred, and survivors were forced onto barren reservations. Now you see, America was founded by the gun and survives by the gun. How can Americans give up guns when their nation depends on them? Mass shootings spark outrage, but gun control remains impossible to implement. If vodka flows in Russian veins, guns and drugs flow in American ones. Guns and drugs are intertwined with U.S. politics and economics, creating intractable problems. U.S. leaders won't give up power or profits no matter the human cost. America's future. In 4 words, they've made their bed. That's all for this video. How do you think America could successfully implement gun control? Share your thoughts in the comments. Follow me for more insights into the strange world.